It's 7:01.
We're a minute late, but whatever, that's fine. Who is it? Okay. Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of No One Is Listening. My name is Steve. With me, as always, my co-host Jen. Jen, you want to say hi?
Hi, this is so exciting.
Yeah. So we decided to do a Facebook Live version of this podcast just because it's been 25 episodes exactly. It's been almost over or under a year.
I'm not sure, and I said I was gonna look this up before we started, but I forgot. I think we started maybe the second week of January.
Something like
that. Yeah. So close enough.
So I didn't think we'd ever last a year. So I'm saying.
So sad.
Did you think it was gonna last a year?
Yeah. I think this is gonna go forever. What do you mean? Are you freaking out with us?
No. Wait. What were your aspirations for this?
Well, I mean, this is just...
I don't remember. A year is so long.
Well, this is just us talking, right? And we talk all the time. So, I just thought we would just do this for
as long as we
we
kept
are
talking.
both alive. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we want to do a Facebook Live thing, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we'll start the episode off as usual. Jen, anything new with you?
No, I'm so excited about this.
Wait, I said anything new with you, and you said no?
Oh, I thought you said, is anything new with... Yeah, no, there's nothing new.
Oh, nothing new?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. I had this week off, so it's been really, really nice being at home and
Did you
doing
get your
nothing.
car heater fixed?
Yes, I think. My heater's kind of fixed. I don't know. It's still not great, but I had an issue with my speedometer. I thought it was broken, but it just turns out it was reading kilometers and not miles. But I hit numbers that I've never hit on my car before.
Oh,
so I'd be going
60
and and it's 100 something. I'd be like, I'm living on the wild side. But I obviously knew that there was something wrong with my speedometer.
Oh.
But it just turns out I just don't know how to convert mileage and kilometers.
It's impossible. I don't think it's no one does that mentally. Yeah.
Well, I had to, but yeah. How is it going, Steve?
Good. I had a near death experience the other day. I was playing video games and I was eating candy, hard candy. Did I tell you about this? Did I not tell you about this?
No, you told me.
I don't think I told you the full story, right? So.
No, you told me, but I think everybody should
okay,
know.
I'll go. So
I freaked out.
I was eating candy, this hard yellow lemon drop candy, and
should we sue?
No, no. If I died, then yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And it's hard on the outside and soft on the inside, and I bit it, and right when I bit it, I thought I'd gotten to the soft chewy part, and I had not, and I bit it, and then, so I bite it, and it flung the candy to the back of my throat, and I started choking, and I didn't know what to do, so I freaked out a little bit, and then so I lived with my brother and my cousin, so I ran out of my room and I started banging on my brother's door, and I was like, I'm like, you have to do that. It's
my worst nightmare.
And I swear, I was screaming as loud as I could,
but
it
was just
a whisper coming out, and then my cousin came, he ran to me and started doing the Heimlich on me, but he was counting down. Mm-hmm. He was 1, 2, 3, and then he would do it, but because he was counting down, I could brace for it, and so I was tightening up because it hurt. And so nothing was happening when he did it, and so I told him don't count, just do it. And then he did it, and then I threw up everywhere.
So it's not.
But I caught it. I don't know why. I was so ashamed to be throwing up.
Yeah.
That I tried to hold it in, and then I caught all the throw up, and it went through my hand. But then I caught the candy. And I was like, oh, thank you.
I really feel like you're spending a lot of time on the vomit portion, where it should be more about how you almost lost your life and how your
it was actually really scary. I have a serious fear of dying. It's not funny.
No, it's not funny.
I've lost hours of sleep because I'm so nervous about dying.
Oh my god. But you didn't.
I'm alive.
You're
still
alive.
Here.
You made it to our Facebook Live.
Made it to 2017, hopefully.
Well, no. I mean, 2 more days, right? Yeah.
No, 3.
What's today?
Wait, how many?
2. 30.
Oh, 30 in December, right? Okay. All right, cool.
Well, I hope this portion was as fun for you guys as it was for
So, do you want to run down?
Yeah. So for this episode, we thought it'd be fun if we, since we're so obsessed with awards and award shows, if we created our own No One Is Listening 2016 awards.
I'm obsessed with ranking things. Like
yeah, but we didn't rank. We're not ranking anything.
Right.
But yeah, I love end of the year lists. So this was a really fun exercise for both of us. So we have a couple of categories. And I don't really think it needs much more explaining than that, right? So shall we get to it?
Yeah, let's get to it.
So
that's
what's
right.
the first category?
First category is Best TV Show of 2016. Best TV Show. As you can see, we have...
Good penmanship, right?
That's actually fantastic. Hey, do you want to tell them what secret talent you have that we didn't know about?
It turns out I'm really good at writing backwards.
Amazing.
Because when we were testing videos, when we were making our promo videos, the third video we did, I had written, No One Is Listening Podcast, all the information, but, it, was flipped when we were...
The preview was
when
flipped,
it was recording, but when you actually see it, it's regular. So when it was flipped, I was shoot, I have to write this backwards, and I figured I was so good at it.
It's a secret talent you have. If there were an Olympics for writing backwards,
I would totally win. I would totally win.
I don't know about win.
Can you have more faith?
I mean, I'd say you'd medal, but what if someone was practicing for the whole?
Fine.
Yeah.
But okay, fine. Considering I picked it up in 4 seconds.
That's what I'm saying,
okay.
Right? That's really impressive.
Still awesome.
Okay, so best TV show, right?
Yes.
Let's go, and these are in no particular order. We're just gonna go right down the list. Let's see. The first one.
Of 2016.
Of 2016. Best TV show of 2016, right? The first one I have is Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No comment.
No
All
comment?
you, Steve.
No comment. Yeah, I think Game of Thrones was really good this season. Last season was a little.
What season
was
are we
slow.
on?
We just finished 6.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, the last season was excellent. Spoiler alert. It tied a lot of bows and answered a lot of questions that we've had going back to when it originally aired.
But does it leave? Does it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're asking if it leads you wanting more?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or there's cliffhangers and
yeah,
the
absolutely.
door opens for
absolutely.
Okay.
There are things happening where super excited for next season. And they were just doing things that I didn't even think was possible on TV. I mean, sarcastically, I would have also nominated Game of Thrones for a different category, Best Movie of the Year, just because the stuff that they were doing on TV was insane. So
was there a particular episode?
There were the last two. The last two are amazing. The penultimate, which was Battle of the Bastards, and then the very last episode of, I believe it's Winds of Winter. You invest so much time into these characters and into the show, and it just blew me away. It was so satisfying, and I don't know if it's because of that or in spite of that, but this was the first season that went past the books. It's not past the books. They haven't released the books with information that that's been revealed on the TV show.
Do you think that the author, what's his name, George R.R. Martin, watches the show, will watch the show, because they've diverged, right?
Yeah.
So, and they don't really talk to each other, do they?
No, they did. So, before this season, they used to let him direct one episode a season, and then, in order for them to get the rights to make this TV show, they had to, the two executive producers had to go to George R.R. Martin and answer trivia questions.
Oh, about the world.
About the world, and then they had to predict certain questions that he had, and then he told them how it ends, just in case he dies, because he's super old.
He's really old.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that. Next one is Westworld. I don't know how many of you watched. Did you watch Westworld?
I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be hosting this podcast because I'm really behind on everything.
That's okay. That's why we're doing TV show first. That's fine.
Yeah, no, but great.
That was alright.
Okay. I have friends who love they were obsessed with it. Okay. Well,
I think it's
wait,
cool
but then why is it on this? Why this is your pick? So why is it on this in this?
Because so many people talk about it.
Okay.
And I watched it, but it's just it's alright.
Okay.
It's not. It's good, not great. But I have high hopes for season 2. That's why, because I wanted it to be on the record that I'm predicting a bright future for Westworld.
When is season 2? Do you know?
I have no idea. Probably next fall or winter or something like that. All right, so here's a show that we can both talk about. The next one is Atlanta. What do you think about Atlanta?
Love Atlanta, and I really feel like this is my favorite new show of this fall season, and my favorite show of 2016, I think.
You know what? We'll go through the other nominees, but
Yeah.
I think for me too, it's definitely the best.
Yeah.
I think it's the best show. I mean, talk about Game of Thrones and what it's able to do, but Atlanta has, in different ways, it's done things that I didn't think were possible on TV. Just the creativity, how they're able to do episodes about different characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. It sounds kind of weird, but I want to say it is. It's like African American or Black Seinfeld.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I mentioned this before, but I'm like really fascinated by shows and movies that can really delve into characters, and like this show does that, and it's not just the character of what's his name, Donald Glover's character's name.
Oh,
like
Ern.
It's not just Ern's character. Like
You have Paperboy.
we have Van, and like the whole
she's-
episode that they spent on Van like is one of my favorites. So yeah, you're right. Like it's not something that like you can really do on like you really see on television, let alone like I mean FX is like cable, but it's still like
It's basic.
it's
right?
basic cable, yeah.
Yeah, not basic like a basic girl.
Right,
Or
not
a basic
like
guy.
millennial talk basic, but yeah. So I think this is my pick.
Yeah, I think Atlanta hits the highs that other shows do. Like it hits the same highs that Game of Thrones hits, but there's no lulls. You know, there's no like the basement for an Atlanta episode is the quality of like the worst Atlanta show or worst episode of Atlanta is higher than most TV shows.
I also think though it is like the number of shows that they had this season. It's only 10 episodes,
Yeah.
you know. So whereas like like regular like network TV shows, like you have to fulfill like a 22 episode order, and like you're really stretching that out, where they're able to take this like compact season and like just do the storytelling that they want to do. Like I do think, and I also think like it'll become more of a norm for like
definitely.
episodes to be more concise.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're past the time of TV shows premiering in the fall, and
Although Atlanta did premiere in the fall, so.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true. That's
yeah.
true. So Atlanta, I had number 1 on my list. The next show is actually number 2 on my list.
Okay.
The next show is The Night Of. I had this number 2 for me.
I finished it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It
What
was
did you
so
think?
depressing.
Was it though?
No, it was. I mean, it's not easy to watch.
It's a tough watch.
It's
it is.
not.
Parts of
yeah.
it are. Yeah.
So parts of it, I was just like, oh, let me like go paint my nails or something. But I think it was such a star-making performance.
Riz
by
Ahmed, yo, Riz
and-
my
and-
man Nas.
Okay, and John Turturro.
Oh yeah, he's excellent.
And it just was like, it was so heavy, but like, you're right. Maybe it's not depressing. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
You know,
I can't really talk about it.
I wouldn't call it depressing. It was definitely sobering.
Yes.
I think that's a better word because I think it's definitely sobering, and were episodes where like the pilot I think is still probably one of the best episodes of TV I've seen this year. I think there's the middle part where it's like too much Law and Order that I didn't like, but I think it starts off super strong, and then I think the end they really nail it.
Yeah.
I mean they really stick the landing for the ending, and it just the writing is just so good, and the directing, all of it is just it comes together so perfectly.
Okay.
And it's my number 2.
Okay.
I think by far. And then I have Game of Thrones 3.
Okay. I thought we weren't ranking, but
You know what?
You can
Only
rank,
this.
you can
Only
rank.
this.
Okay,
Only this.
okay.
Only this. I swear, because
Okay.
I'm really obsessed with TV shows. Let's go on to the next one. American Crime Story. O.J. Simpson.
yes.
Right. What did you think?
All of the feels. I think also we're in an era where we are like majorly nostalgic about stuff, right? And this fits right into it. Because it was like the 90s and like everything 90s, including this choker, is like back. And not that, I don't know, like I think the O.J. Simpson story is like so compelling, even though it is one of the darker periods of
like American pop culture.
Yeah. But the show itself, like, it has all the makings of like you know exactly what's going to happen and you know exactly how the story plays out because it happened already, right? But like it's the performances that really drive it. And so this was also like one of those things where it, like, if they weren't already stars, made stars out of people. Sterling K. Brown, Sarah Paulson, Courtney Vance. I know you, David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer, man, the Schwimmanaissance.
Sure. I mean, yeah. John Travolta.
Oh, he was really good too.
So, and OJ. What's his name?
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding Jr. So
you know what? I'll be honest. That was my least favorite part.
Yeah. Towards the end, like it wasn't. It like became very much less about Cuba Gooding Jr. and like OJ Simpson than it was about like the people that were driving like the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who is the lawyer? Nathan Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Lane was it? Yeah, I think if we had done this earlier in the year, if the cutoff was, or let's say it had premiered later, I think maybe it'd be higher for me. But it just didn't. Yeah, it was great in the moment, but it just didn't. It didn't hit the same highs that the other shows did for me. So it gets nominated for sure, but I didn't really think it had any realistic chance of winning. I'm thinking, should we not? Let's not do that.
Sure.
All right, so here's the last one, right? Stranger Things on Netflix.
Still haven't watched it.
All right. I think the reason I wanted to. So we're not going to talk about Black Mirror. We're going to skip over that, and we're going to do Stranger Things because something you said about American Crime Story resonated with me about Stranger Things, which is the nostalgia factor, right?
Yes.
So there's no pre-existing IP, there's no like Stranger Things expanded universe or anything like that, but you felt so nostalgic watching it because it was a movie set in the 80s, and it is very much a TV show that is influenced by movies from the 80s. Right. So you have E.T., all the Steven Spielberg stuff. I think watching it makes me very nostalgic for movies that I watched like growing up, and so and I feel like there was this one point in time where like a week after it came out, everyone I knew was like talking about this TV show, which is kind of how like Netflix works now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So
cool.
I guess you and I, do we agree? Do we both have Atlanta as number one on this? Okay, cool. We're gonna go on to our next category, which is 2016 Best Movie. I don't think we're gonna agree on this one, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
And also, we reviewed a lot of these.
The first
like,
three
in our last
we'll
episode.
run through, right?
Okay.
The first three we'll run through because we talked about it the last episode. Rogue One, Arrival, La La Land, and then were any of those your pick, actually?
Yes.
Which one?
La La Land. I stand by it. Yeah. I think you should go watch it.
Wow. It's that good, huh?
It's that good.
It's the best movie of the year.
I think so.
Wow.
But I haven't watched Rogue One yet.
If you're not the type of person, if you're the type of person that could have waited this long to watch Rogue One, it's probably not going to beat La La Land.
Then okay. La La Land it is.
Wow.
It's because it was unlike anything else that we have seen in a really long time. And I mentioned this in our last podcast. So it really stayed with me for a really long time. And the music is like constantly in my head on a loop. So I feel like it has kind of the total package too. Because the actors are so good. The actors are so beautiful. I don't know. That's my pick.
Yeah. You know, it was originally supposed to be. I was listening to this on another podcast. It was originally supposed to be Miles Teller and Emma Watson. Super weird. Would not have been the same, right?
I can totally see Miles Teller in the role because he and Ryan Gosling kind of have like that a-hole like character. They can kind of come off like a little bit douchey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Emma Watson, I'm not sure, because I guess she would have been American. I guess she's done American accents. I can't remember. Like, I have
The
such...
Bling Ring, right?
Oh, yeah. I have such faith in Emma Watson. She can do anything, so I'm sure it would have been fine, but, like, these characters are so etched into my head as Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone that... And I don't know if they would have had the same chemistry, because this movie is so much more...
Yeah.
it's mostly about the chemistry that the two characters have, and, like... Because Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling have worked together for so long, or so many times, that they naturally just have that.
Yeah.
What are the next movies on our list?
The next movie is Captain America: Civil War.
I did not watch this.
What? Everyone watched this.
Okay,
You
well,
don't watch this? Do
no.
you watch Marvel movies?
It's a hit or miss. Like, if people want to go see it already, like, I wouldn't go by myself. And I go watch movies by myself, but, like, I don't know.
Really? Oh, it's good. You should watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it.
What Marvel movies have you watched?
Oh my gosh, put me on the spot. I don't know. Which ones are the Marvel movies?
What are you doing right now? You have Iron Man. You have Iron Man 2.
No, I've watched all of them.
You've watched all the Iron Mans?
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched both Avengers?
Mm-hmm.
How many Captain Americas? There's 3. Captain America.
See, I
Captain
haven't
America
watched any of the
Soldier
Captain
ones.
Americas because I don't love
Those are
Chris
the best.
Evans.
What? Those are the best ones.
Are they?
Have you seen Thor?
No.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy is actually probably the best one.
Okay, so are you okay with me now?
A little bit.
Okay. All right, can we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Captain America was fine. Finding Dory. You watched that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Finding Dory?
I loved Finding Dory.
Yeah, I thought Finding Dory was good. I didn't think it was as good as
Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo, but I thought it had a lot more to say than Finding Nemo. The last one is Zootopia.
Which I have not watched,
Man,
but
Zootopia's
apparently
very good. Zootopia's
I have
so
to.
good.
Okay.
You have to watch Zootopia.
Okay. Wait, so then which one's your
Oh.
pick?
You know what?
Mine's La La Land.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Rogue One. I'm gonna say Rogue One.
Yeah.
For reason, if you don't know why, you can go look at our last episode where we reviewed Rogue One. I think it starts off really, really rocky, but man, does it stick the landing. I'd say like the last 30 minutes are really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're good?
Yeah, I think we're good. You know what? Why don't we take a break right now? Do we have any questions or things? Oh, we do. Oh, there's 2 questions, right? We have 2 questions. How do you guys go about deciding if you're going? Oh, this is a mad good question.
Who
Who wrote that one? How do you guys go about deciding if you're going to invest in watching a show or not? Because you know what, we'll be talking about this later, but it's like there's so much TV out there.
There's so
right. So
much
how do you go
stuff.
about deciding if you're going to invest in a TV show or not? Do you have an answer? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
I think for me, it's I try to read up on it. I try to see what people who are like much smarter than me are saying about the TV show, and then I give it a shot. And if it doesn't get me after like the first episode or 2, then like that's it. I just cut it out. There are a few TV shows that like I tried, and I know they were critically acclaimed and people were saying really great stuff about it, but I couldn't get into it. So I'll try a TV show, and it also has to like hit me at the right time too. Like it's usually like right before I go to sleep when I don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Where I'll just like give it a shot. So yeah, I definitely think for me, I decide if I want to invest in a TV show if like people whose opinions I trust like it, and then I'll like try it out myself. Very rarely do I watch a show that I have discovered on my own. Usually it's something I've seen on Twitter, something that a review that I read by Alan Sepinwall, or something that they put on like The Ringer, and then I'll give it a try because there's just too much stuff for you to discover on your own. It's like impossible now.
Okay.
What about you?
I just want to copy paste what you just said. But I also read up a lot about the shows that are coming out, and so regardless of whether people have liked it or not, like if something if I like something or if I like the person in the show, then I'll like give it a try. So that's how I discovered Younger, because I love, and it's a show on TV Land, because Sutton Foster, who's like this huge Broadway actress, like I really like her, and then Hilary Duff, who I love from my nostalgic, like, you know, early 2000 days. And so that's how I started watching that show. But like you, like my threshold for watching a show is very like it's small. Like if I don't like it in the first 2 episodes, because I will try to at least watch another episode other than the pilot, because sometimes pilot episodes are vastly different from the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if not, then I won't watch it. And then also there are genres that I gravitate more towards than, and I'll be more inclined to watch. So like comedies, especially like half-hour comedies, or just things that are not like the night of. Do you know what I mean? Like it has to take a lot of buzz, sometimes Steve's opinions, for me to want to watch something that's like so heavy. But that's a great question. Thanks, Doug, for asking.
Oh, it's
that
Doug.
question.
Okay, great. The next question is, what 2016 TV show disappointed you the most? I have my answer. Do you have one? I'm gonna say Westworld.
That's so upsetting for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not good, but it took them so long to hit their stride.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, the way they ended it, the last 2 episodes has me jazzed for season 2, but it just took so long, and I still don't care about anyone or anything on the show.
Okay.
I could not care less if they came out with season 2 and it was a totally different cast. I wouldn't really care too much.
Okay.
You know, for me, it's more about like the whys and the how. Not even the why, the how of the show. Like, how is this possible? You know, how are they doing this?
Yeah.
More than like the who and the what. And so I'd say Westworld, only because I had really high expectations.
Okay, but you'll still watch season 2.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm definitely gonna give season 2 a shot.
The only show that I can think of is Modern Family, which I finally quit this year.
Oh,
Because I was watching it out of obligation, really, because I was so invested in all the characters, and like this season I like took off the season pass on my DVR because I just can't do it anymore. There's way too much other good stuff to watch. So thanks, Eddie, for sending in that question. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it. What's the next category?
Okay, so...
Or should I do it this time?
Oh, yeah. So we're going to do... So we'll be doing... Best music.
Best music.
Okay, I think this will be really fast, too, because like, I really can't talk about anything eloquently, but music even less so. So I'm just like, I just like the beat. And really, I should be a music critic based on that alone. So let's see. So when we first thought of this, we thought of doing singles, but then we thought like, oh, there's like whole albums that like we feel like should be part of this. So we're just gonna, it's either gonna be a single or an album, but we'll indicate it as we go. Lemonade by Beyonce. I think 2016 was Beyonce's year. Lemonade sonically is such a good album. Visually, it's such a great like hour-long music video. There's so many good songs on it, and the beauty of Lemonade is that she really like spans multiple genres. So like she's pop, she's R&B, there's country, there's rock. So she kind of just proves that she can do all of it, and she's at the top of her game. No one can touch her.
Yeah. I think Lemonade it's not my favorite, but it's the one that I feel like I keep going back to. I don't go back. Wait, did she start off the year? Did she play the Super Bowl this past year? Was that her?
Yeah. So,
right, so she started off strong.
That's when Formation, the single, dropped.
Oh,
like, she
you're
performed
right.
it for the first time. And some would say that she stole the show from Coldplay, who were the actual halftime.
Oh, I remember her way more than I remember Coldplay.
Yeah, so that's how she debuted it, and then in April the whole album dropped. And I think it's probably the only reason why people would subscribe to Tidal, Jay-Z's music streaming service. And the album was nominated for 9 awards.
Yeah,
so 9 Grammys. So yeah.
Yeah. Is that your winner for best music this year?
Yes.
It is? Wow. All right. What's the next one? Oh,
Kanye West.
Kanye West, Life of Pablo. You know, Kanye. It's such a bittersweet. year for me as a Kanye West fan. It was so good, and then it got so bad so fast. I think Life of Pablo is a work of art. I think it was a great album. I think it's probably my favorite Kanye album in a long time. Not my favorite Kanye album ever, but definitely in a long time. I've cycled through about 5 different songs that were my favorite song off the album.
What was the lead single?
I think it was Ultralight Beam.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that I don't know if that's my best. I don't know. We have to come back to this because I'm doing this
I'm sorry
right
to put you
now.
on the spot.
No, it's fine. But
also, is it like a little bit like choosing your favorite child? Like
yeah. Because you know what?
favorite
That's great you mentioned that because here's the 2 I can't choose between. I can't choose between Life of Pablo and the next one, which is Coloring Book by Chance the Rapper.
Who also had a really good year.
He had a fantastic year. You know, he's got the Kit Kat commercial and everything, and I think he just dropped a Christmas album.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Chance the Rapper is the guy who gives away his music, right, for free? Doesn't he just upload them on SoundCloud or whatever? Am I thinking of somebody else?
He might have with his last album. I'll be honest, he has
because I don't think he
other songs
is super concerned with selling albums as much as having people listen to.
Well, I mean, so
them.
Coloring Book didn't have what is it? It didn't have what's Columbia or it doesn't have a record company behind it.
Oh yeah.
It was strictly his own mixtape that he released directly through iTunes.
Okay.
And so maybe true. I'm not entirely sure, but Coloring Book and Life of Pablo. I have a hard time choosing. Yeah, Life of Pablo.
Okay.
Because I even to this day, I was listening to it on the way here. I have 5 different songs that I cycle through that. This is the best song off the album.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say Life of Pablo, and then Coloring Book. But we have a few other nominees we want to get through anyway, right? So
if we're gonna finish out the album portion, the new Tribe Called Quest album was really, really great, and it was also really, really, I guess, meaningful and bittersweet, considering one of the members, Five Dog, died earlier this year, but he managed to they had him, or they finished recording.
They finished recording
before he passed, and the album is it touches a lot about some of the stuff that's really relevant now, you know. And We the People is the lead single. No, actually, I don't know if it's the lead single, but it's my favorite song. It's also the first song. So if you just go on Spotify and want to just listen to the first song off the album, it's really good. So I love the new album. What is the album called? I totally forget. It's a long title, and I always forget it.
That's fine.
Because I just keep calling it the Tribe Called Quest new album. So then we have 2 singles that we added on here. My favorite song of this year was "Work From Home" by Fifth Harmony.
Is that your favorite song of the year?
It was my favorite summer song. And so if you're not counting the Lemonades and the Solange albums and the Tribe, then if we're just talking about strictly singles, I loved "Work From Home," and they're no longer Fifth Harmony. They're Fourth Harmony now.
Why?
Last week they one of the girls left, Camilla. Actually, I don't know any of the members, but Camilla left, and then
we're getting a confirmation from our social media manager.
And then they're in a feud. She wrote this long note about
what?
How I think they wrote this long note first. They fired the shot first as a group, and they were we tried having meetings with her, and it just didn't work out. And, we just want to make sure that you guys are okay. And then of course she had to respond to it. So then she wrote an equally long note about how I don't even remember. It's such trivial drama, but
oh man, I can't wait to Google this.
But now there's 4 members, and then Camilla will be releasing an album, I guess, on her own. But I just want to say, the rest of the album's not that great. It's just this song is so good.
I don't know if I could name another Fifth Harmony song, to be honest.
They released the single right after "Work From Home" that was that was also on the radio, but I can't remember it. So. And then you had a single that you also put on this.
Panda by Designer. I love it so much.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't win, but it's the winner of my heart, you know. I love it.
That's great.
I love it so much. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I feel like we should move on to like the meat of what we wanted to do today.
Yes.
So we're calling this best pop culture moment category. Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job.
Best pop culture moment.
Okay, so these are moments that they're not all positive things, but we felt
I'd say most of them are not positive.
But yeah, but they were buzzed about enough and had cultural impact enough to be one of the more defining moments of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we should do this, and then I know there are a couple of questions that are coming in, so we'll go back to questions.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do this
great.
first. Yeah.
So the first one, the Kim Kardashian robbery.
Kim Kardashian robbery. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll be honest. That was the first time for me.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I felt bad for her when like her marriage lasted 13 months or whatever.
I mean, I guess with that stuff, I normally think it's like their own fault anyway.
Yeah.
But this was like totally not her fault.
And it was so much bigger than her too, right? Not to like lessen like the trauma that was bestowed on her, but like, I think it was a moment that asked a lot of questions about social media and like security and safety using social media. So basically, she went from being in the spotlight to like her last Instagram post was 12 weeks ago, the day of the Paris robbery. So she hasn't posted anything, and if you really think about it, that's crazy because this woman's livelihood depends on being in the spotlight and using social media and being paid to use social media every single day. So the fact that she's taking a self-imposed 12-week break, I think says a lot about like her state right now. And so like for that, like I do feel so bad for her. And I mean, I'm not a fan, but I do hope that she takes this time to like heal and to work through the things that she needs to. I don't think she's gone forever because I just don't think that the Kardashians can do that. But I think when she does come back, we'll see a different side of her, and like certainly she will not be using social media the same way ever again. So, so I think but that's also a good lesson for all of us, right? Like maybe your Instagram shouldn't be so instant, and maybe you shouldn't tag every location that you're at. And
that's good. I like that.
Thank you so much.
That's really good.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
And so, I don't know, I just felt like this dominated the headlines, and it embarrassed countries, right? Like, France was really embarrassed about it, and
and
they
like
were,
that hotel or whatever,
and they
right?
were afraid of, like, tourism, like, taking a hit, especially because of all the terrorist attacks happening in European countries, too. Like, that's kind of the last thing that they need. So, I felt like it had more significance than just, like, this being, like, Kim Kardashian getting robbed.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Let's see, the next one. Oh.
Take it away, Steve, your favorite subject.
So, best pop culture moment was the Kanye West meltdown, which was, I think it starts with, he's at his concert, he's doing a concert, and from all accounts and all the reviews I'd heard, it was, his concert was, his tour was very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then one night, he decides to go on a rant about the election and reveals that he didn't vote, then he reveals who he would have voted for, and it was not a popular choice amongst his audience members. And then a few weeks later, he comes to New York to visit Donald Trump at Trump Tower, and I swear I've never had more people ask me what's going on with Kanye West.
And in that moment?
Then in that
the Trump Tower moment.
Then Trump Tower
Interesting.
moment. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I guess maybe we don't mean best pop culture moment, maybe biggest.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was not a great moment for Kanye West fans, that's for sure. It's hard. I love him, but it's tough. It's tough to love him right now.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
You can work through this, Steve. I stuck by Britney all this year.
You know what?
Times, and she had the best year.
It was different. It was different though, because you know why? Because with Britney Spears, it's like we were like, oh, obviously it's attributed to like mental health. So is Kanye West's issues, but I feel like people don't give him that same. But I will admit, with Britney, it did take years, right? In the moment, we didn't attribute it to. In the moment, we were like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
But years later, we attributed to that. But with Kanye, I don't know, because he's put a bullseye on his back for so long.
Yeah.
I think some people are like, oh, he's getting his comeuppance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Do you want to do the next one?
Sure. Pokemon Go. Who knew? Oh my gosh. I didn't know it was going to be released. Did you? Did anyone?
Yeah. There was a trailer for it, like a year before it came out.
I don't watch.
But you're not a Pokemon fan, right?
No. And so I also downloaded it because I have to do what everyone else is doing. And I caught a bunch of Pokemon. My goal.
Watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know. You can fire me. It's fine. My goal was to catch Pikachu, and it never happened. And then I got really bored, so then I deleted it. But for, 2 months? The entire summer, basically.
2
That's
months, yeah.
all people talked about. And I'm not sure what the statistics are like. And I don't know if,
it's
what
definitely
the drop-off has been.
It's been huge.
But I really, really feel like when you think of 2016, you think of all the terrible things that have happened, and then you think of Pokemon Go, just the sheer quick obsession with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never met so many strangers in my life.
Yeah.
I had a Pokestop right outside my apartment, and I swear I've never made more friends at my local, more friends who are students at my local high school.
Is this a gym? No, sorry, I'm getting confused.
It was actually. It was.
Okay.
I thought you meant a work. I didn't realize we're still talking about Pokemon
I didn't even know
terms.
what a gym was. I was so I go there and fight. How do I fight?
That's. I think a lot of
I
people
didn't want
had
to
that same
talk to
drop-off.
people, and then people would talk to me, and I was just I can't. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, no, I think people had the same thoughts as you.
Okay.
All right, let's do the next one.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next
So
one?
Facebook Live, Facebook I feel is arguably the biggest social media platform in the world, and
I'll
we're
say it is,
obviously
right?
using Facebook Live
We're
right
using
now. It's a live streaming video platform. If you're watching us, then you figured out how to use it. Congratulations. I felt there's two examples that I kind of want to mention. I think it kind of speaks to what Facebook Live can be. One is Chewbacca Mom, who had the best year ever.
You got that as a present this year?
Oh, really? You should make your own Chewbacca Mom video. No, it really is. But just the sheer delight of her figuring out how this toy works, and it was just a great example of how something like this could work, right?
Yeah.
The other one is a little bit more serious. I feel maybe it was used in a way that Facebook didn't anticipate or wanted it to be used, but I'm talking about, in particular, the shooting of Philando Castile in Minnesota. His shooting wasn't streamed live, but the immediate aftermath was, and his girlfriend was in the back seat recording it, and was recording the interaction between the cops, and she was very calmly explaining what had just happened, which was that a cop had shot her boyfriend, and it really gave an alarming insight into a police shooting, much more so than a body cam or a surveillance camera, because it was so in the moment. There were sounds, you know what I mean? Sometimes with surveillance, you don't know what's actually happening. Yeah. And it's disturbing to watch, but it's really powerful, right? And it's an example of how Facebook Live has this potential to really be an agent of change, because I feel it really became a rallying cry and also a tool used by the Black Lives Matter movement, by being this magnifying glass of things. So
well said.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with Facebook Live, but those are two very opposite examples. But I think as a whole,
Yeah.
And then also now Instagram, although Instagram is owned by Facebook, but other medias I think will be doing their own live versions of videos. Yeah. What do you mean? What?
I don't know how to use Instagram at all. Do they have that already, or?
Yeah, it's called Instagram Stories, but it's kind of like a Snapchat copy.
But is that
the thing on the top?
On the top with the circles.
Yeah, we can talk about this. I can show you how to do it.
Yeah, sometimes when people do that and I click, sometimes it goes backwards instead of forwards. Why is that? You know what I'm talking about?
The video should come up in the order that they made it. That's how Snapchat works.
Doesn't, I feel like.
Are you sure? I don't know. I don't know anything. So. Okay, so we should move on to Kim Kardashian is back on this list. We're not obsessed with her, we promise, but it's her takedown of Taylor Swift. So
Excellent.
I think maybe we should talk about Taylor's. Maybe this is a Taylor Swift moment, but
Yes,
I wanted to talk
I
about
would agree.
the reason why I wanted to phrase it this way instead of like Taylor Swift's downfall or whatever you want to call it, is because the way that Kim Kardashian used social media to bring down Taylor Swift, I think is more important than what actually happened. So she used Snapchat, which is ephemeral. It's not permanent. I mean, it is permanent. You can download these videos, and also if you Google or YouTube like this video of her catching Taylor Swift in this lie, still exists. But in essence, it's something that like people were talking about, and then they were forced to go look at it in the 24 hours that it was up. She released it on I think she released it on National Snake Day. Like that's pretty that's amazing.
Is that true?
That's what I read, and I think that's so hilarious, and I think that's so funny. So I think for a really long time, for most of her career, Taylor Swift has been untouchable.
She's always come out of a feud with a W, right? She's never taken an L in her life.
Yeah, and this was the first year that some of that started to crumble a little bit. So I think she's had a rough year, right? Her and her longtime boyfriend, and by long time I mean a year, but that's a long time. And Taylor Swift's
romantic history.
They broke up, and then her affair with Tom Hiddleston was short lived, and then this happened, and I really thought that she was going to release an album this year because she's released an album every 2 years, every even year in the fall, and she hasn't. But I also think that's because A, she's laying low now, but B, I'm sure all of this is going to play into what her album is going to be, so she needs more time to work on it.
Maybe she had an album ready.
Yeah.
And then the Kim Kardashian thing happened, and she was like,
she was
I have 5 more new songs.
Bad Blood Part 2, Part 3, Part 4.
There you go.
But the Kim Kardashian takedown on her husband's behalf, that's also I'm just
awesome.
You go girl, don't mess with her family. Do you know what I mean? Good for her. Whatever. Okay, so we had the Olympics on here.
Yeah. It was
fine.
It happens every 4 years.
It does.
I feel like whenever it happens, people talk about it a lot. And so, yeah.
Okay.
We had it on here. And then the last one was the hashtag Oscars So White. Literally, I guess 11 months ago at the Oscars. Doesn't seem such a big deal now, but it was at the time. I feel like
it was, and I think that Hollywood is just sort of starting to take notice, and it definitely won't be like this year. I can think of a couple of nominations that will most likely happen, so that the Oscars aren't so white this year. But change doesn't happen overnight, right? So if you don't see people of color right away in the movies that are being released, that's because movies take a while to make, right? And so, but I do think if we continue to keep rallying for things and calling out Hollywood studios when they make idiotic decisions, if enough people say something, change will happen. And a good example of this is the rumor leak of the Mulan live action remake or whatever it is. It was rumored that they were gonna cast non-Asian people in these roles, and people got really, really upset, as people should, because Mulan is clearly not a white person. And so then the studio, whether they were already thinking of doing this or not, was forced to issue a statement, and also now they're gonna be casting correctly. And so with stuff like this, with stuff that's about to happen in the new year with our new president-elect, I think as long as people can continue to be vigilant and say stuff when things aren't so right, there is a shot of things changing.
So what was your winner for this? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. I don't think it's the best one, but the biggest one. I definitely think it's the Kanye West meltdown.
You think so?
I think for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's the Kim K robbery.
Oh, really? I thought you were gonna go the takedown too. You think it's?
You know what? Let's just give it to Kim Kardashian.
Okay, fair.
I mean, for me, She had a really terrible year, but she had a really interesting year. So.
All right, let's go to some questions
Yes.
and comments. All right, ready? Oh man.
What is the question?
What are your guilty pleasure shows and movies? Let's do that one.
Do you want me to start?
Yes, if you could.
My guilty pleasure shows are younger, unreal. Basically shows that are on like the CW TV land Lifetime. I really like the CW shows, right? So I love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Jane the Virgin. I don't really watch a lot of reality TV. I just don't like it. And right now I'm obsessed with Leah Remini's Scientology series on A&E. I think it's like an 8-part series, but like I'm like obsessed or fascinated by Scientology, so I've been watching that. Movies, definitely teen movies. So a lot of the old Amanda Bynes teen movies I love. So She's the Man. Even her like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like she made this like terrible movie that I like sometimes watch because like it's so
What's
good.
it called?
It's a take on Snow White and like the Seven Dwarfs, and I forget what the exact Sydney White. I think it's called Sydney White.
As opposed to Snow White.
Because she has to have a good. Yeah, she has to have a So teen movies, like I think those are my guilty pleasure movies.
Okay.
You?
I would say for TV shows, probably anything that's in like cartoon form.
Okay.
Anything animated, whether it's like Japanese animation or like shows that are actually for children.
Yeah.
For movies, I would say anything that has dancing in it, like Step Up.
Yes.
Any of those
And you've
kind of
watched
movies.
all of the stuff.
You know, I think I watched up to 3.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, here's a good one.
Thanks to Paul for that question.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah. Our next question is from my brother. Do you have a breakout artist of 2016? I have one.
Can you go first?
Yeah. Chance the Rapper, easily. He's someone that I like heard about on the fringes. Didn't really listen to anything. I'd heard of Sunday Candy and I'd heard it, and it was all right. But man, Coloring Book by Chance the Rapper is so good, and I have really high expectations for him going forward. He performed, I think, at the last holiday thing for the Obamas at the White House, and so it was really good. Do you have one?
Yeah. I don't know if this means like they were never like they debuted in 2016. And if so, then this is.
Oh no, mine did.
Okay.
He didn't debut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon, who had an amazing year.
Oh.
we can share this. She is on SNL. She plays Hillary Clinton, who I hope that she would play for the next 4 years because she's so good at it. She was in Ghostbusters remake. She was also in Office Christmas Party, which I haven't watched. She's fun fact, I guess, but she's the first SNL cast member to be nominated for an Emmy for being on SNL. So that's how good she is. Yeah, even Kristen Wiig, like I don't think, has been nominated. So it was definitely her year, and like I think she's just so talented. So
You know, I have a different answer.
yeah,
Riz Ahmed.
great. We
Night
love Riz
of
Ahmed.
Rogue One, Riz Ahmed. That's
so-
my breakout
yeah.
artist of 2016.
He's so talented because he's also
A rapper.
Yeah, he's.
You told me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a great question. Thanks,
Okay.
Eddie.
Do you have an answer for this one? I
So
don't.
Sonia asked us what was our favorite music collaboration of 2016.
I don't have one, I think.
Maybe the I mean, we did
Social
really
media
love.
managers.
We did really love
Right,
the Calvin Harris Rihanna.
Oh, okay,
song,
yeah. Okay.
which was also co-written by Taylor Swift. So dun dun dun. I'm sure I'll think of some things, and if I think of something, I'll go back to it. But yeah, that's all I can think of right now. We're not that cool. Like,
I personally don't have one. I'd say Calvin Harris.